Hello. All right, it is just about noon time, and I am leaving my house to go to the MEDI-Weightloss clinic. We're going to do a walkthrough. Hold on. We're going to do a walkthrough to see how pretty it is inside, and kind of give a little bit of the nuts and bolts as to what we're going to be doing and what is done when you're at the location. Had to wave bye to my mother. All right, off we go. Hello. So I'm a little early for my appointment, so I'm just kind of sitting here freshening up my lippic. It was a viral video about a little girl. She talks about her lippic that she bought from Home Depot. So cute. Anyway, so I decided to pull over and do a little excerpt, a little, blurb. It's kind of like the countdown is really begun. We're in December, and December 2nd, and like I said, January 4th is my official start date. We're on the way to the clinic now. We're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough. I'm not sure how it's going to go down yet. I haven't actually really talked to details about that with Jen, but we're gonna go do that. Sarah is meeting me there. You guys have heard her on the show if have listened to any of my shows. She's been on quite a bit. But there was something, a friend of mine and I, we were taking a road trip to Rhode Island a couple of weeks ago, and we're very like-minded. We both love food, cooking, feeding people. We're explorative. And when it comes to trying new things, I mean, I do have my limits. There are some things I just don't want to try. But anyway, he brought to my attention something about us and me, and something we both have done. He doesn't do it as much. I'm always talking about food. It's always about food. I mean, what more is there to life, right? Lots of things. Lots and lots of things. Food is not a priority in a lot of people's worlds. They like food, they eat food, they cook, things like that, but not quite like I do. It's always about food with me. So it's interesting because people who don't think of food the way I do kind of we're not on the same page when it comes to talking about certain things. It's kind of like the person who's obsessed with, say, playing guitar, and that's all they talk about. Well, I don't want to hear it all the time. I'm tired of hearing you talk about guitars. That's probably how some people feel about people who talk about food all the time. So it's just interesting, that when I'm going through this new process starting in January, how I'm going to be as far as discussion wise. I don't want my life to revolve around food anymore. I'm so over it. I will say the one thing that's really good about me being a cook is it's going to allow me to be very creative with what I can eat versus what I can't. So there's a lot of ideas popping through my head. But anyway, so we're getting close to the time we need to be at the clinic. So lots of good things coming. So let's go. Let's go see Jen. I'm so excited. I know, I keep saying I'm very excited. Just a little bit. Let's go. MEDI-Weightloss. Sarah's my camerawoman. All right, there she is. I don't know if you can. There you go. All right, let's go. We're at MEDI-Weightloss. Let's do a little walkthrough. All right, let's do this. Okay, this says pounds lost since April 12th of 2023. Yeah. Jen checks this every single day. She either increases the number or she decreases the number depending on if there's maybe somebody who might have had a setback, because that is part of the process. Nobody is perfect, and I know I may have 1 or 2 setbacks, maybe 5, who knows, but this is amazing since she's open since April. 4,438 pounds have been lost since she's opened this location. So props to everybody who is doing this, and props to Jen who is helping saving lives. Okay, so now we're here at the MEDI-Weightloss location, and Jen and I are going to have a little bit of a Q&A session. So Jen, here's my big question. you and I have always talked about weight loss struggles and different programs and things like that. So you did this program and you fell in love with it. So how did you, what exactly, are you the owner? What is it that you do here?
Okay, so I am a franchisee. So I'm an owner operator. So what that means is I'm here every single day, managing the practice, overseeing the staff.
Okay.
But our clinic is overseen by a board-certified internal medicine physician that oversees the clinical aspect of what our team does.
Yeah.
Every time a patient comes in here, they're met by a medical assistant, and they're also seen by a provider. So that's usually either a nurse practitioner or a physician assistant licensed in the state of Massachusetts.
And that's one of the things I really liked about this program, is because it's overseen, like you said, by people in the medical profession. And that told me that it was, safer for me. And from what we talked about too, I do believe that MEDI-Weightloss also, you correspond with my primary care physician.
Absolutely.
So my doctor, my primary care physician, is going to know everything that's going on. Oh, that's pretty. That was pretty. So one of the things that we do, now I've known Jen for a long time. I did some of my paperwork even long before my assessment. But you would have an assessment. I was here for about an hour or so.
I spent a little extra time.
Yeah, it's typically about a half hour, I believe.
Yes, correct.
But we know each other, so, and I'm a talker. And so we went over things that are going to happen in the program, and my day one is on January 4th. So Jen, when I come in on the 4th, you mentioned I have to stay really hydrated. And what was the other thing I needed to do?
So the things that you need to do before your appointment, first and foremost, the day that you sign up and we schedule you, we do take a deposit for that initial visit. The second thing we do, once you're on the schedule, you're going to get a link to complete patient registration forms. This is incredibly important because without those forms, our providers aren't going to know anything about you.
Right.
If your insurance requires a referral, we want to make sure that we get that prior to that appointment as well.
Okay.
That way we have no issues with billing and collections.
Okay.
So once you complete your patient registration forms and sign all the necessary documents, you come in, you're greeted by one of our fabulous medical assistants. We take your insurance card, a copy of your ID, and we confirm with you, did you fast prior to this appointment?
Fasting is very big, from what I understand.
Yes, so fasting for 4 hours is really all we need.
Okay.
During your fasting period, you can have black coffee or black tea.
I can, okay.
And we want you to drink a ton of water to make sure your veins are hydrated so we don't have any issues with phlebotomy.
Well, that's good for me. I'm always drinking water, although that means it's a work day. January 4th is a work day for me, and my appointment's at 2. It means I can't eat anything all day.
Yeah, no, just for 4 hours.
That's most
It's
of
just
my
for
day.
4 hours.
Yeah, but it's most of my work day. But that's okay. I can eat later. So.
And the second thing is since we're doing an EKG that day, we want to make sure you don't wear any body lotion.
Okay. I don't typically wear a lot of it anyway, which is good. And that's the other thing I like. They do EKGs. They check your blood work. They make sure your levels are either good or bad or whatever they are. And if there are any health concerns or whatnot, you address them. They address them ASAP, and your primary will know and whatnot. So
let me take a step back there.
Sure,
so once we draw your blood work, we have a relationship with an outside lab. So all the blood work is drawn here, but we send it to a third party for, to be evaluated.
Okay.
They look at everything and they provide us a report, which we give to our providers. And if there's any red flags, they're contacting you as soon as we get the blood work. If everything looks standard, we're going to review it with you at your next appointment.
Okay.
And at that time, if there was something that was a little alarming, we're going to talk to you about sharing that information with your primary care provider.
Perfect.
And of course, you need to sign a release form for us to share your medical information with another healthcare professional.
No, that works for me. I mean, I think that that's just a really good plan anyway. And I just had a physical recently too, but I'm curious to see how my numbers are going to play out the next year.
Yeah, and that's something that we rerun.
Yeah.
So say you lose 10 and 20% of your body weight, we're going to rerun your blood work. We're going to redo your testing your basal metabolic rate.
Yep.
Just to see if there's been any changes.
See if there's any change in, my 12 chins. But anyway, I got to throw my humor in this a little bit, It's going to be quite the journey for this girl. So let's move down the hall. So I know when we first come in, I get to go to the VIP room, and I believe I have to do a urine sample, which standard bathroom, beautiful, nice and clean. I do like the colors of the clinic, by the way, Jen. It's very calming. So then down this way, if I'm correct, is one room. It's a consultation room down here. And this is another restroom here. So you have 2 restrooms, which is great. You have a really nice consultation room. This is the one that we sat in here. Jen and I sat and talked about you know, a little bit of everything. And then probably when I come in on the 4th, I'll be going to, I believe, one of the exam rooms.
Yep.
Okay, and the exam rooms are this way, close up of April. So this is administration, so we don't have to go that way, but follow me down this way. And
Second one.
second way. So there's an exam room here. This is also another consultation room here. And another consultation room, all nice little tables, nice setup here. And then this is where the magic happens, apparently. And this is where we get the blood drawn, the EKG is done. And what else is done in here, Jen?
We also test your basal metabolic rate in this room. So what we're looking for is how your body burns calories while you're resting.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in a comfortable chair.
I would imagine this one.
Nope.
Oh, this one.
A larger chair that we can sit upright.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We have you breathe into a tube with your nose clamped for about 15 minutes, and it tests the way your body burns calories at rest. So the machine is not in this room right now because we do send it out for calibration and maintenance, and that's pretty standard to make sure all of our equipment's up to snuff.
Right, and then, you know, like this way, if there's any problems with the machine, it's all up to date and whatnot. And basically that happens every week when I come, if I'm coming every week, or is that just the initial?
The exam room is truly only used for that initial appointment.
Okay.
And then if we have to redraw blood work, so you know, doing labs, that's done in this room. That's at 10 and 20% of your body weight loss, or every 10%. Okay. And then retesting your basal metabolic rate again periodically to see if your metabolism has changed with weight loss.
Perfect. And when I come back on my weekly visits, this is when it's a little, like, it's not as intensive. It's when I come in and I do like a weight, is it a weight check?
Yeah. So the first couple of visits is a ton of education, because you're learning about week 1 of the program, what you consume the first 7 days on the diet. You come back in for week 2 and we change the diet. And then weekly after that, or every week, you're coming in and you have your vitals checked and you weigh in on a Tanita scale. And I can show you.
And what kind of scale is that? Let's do that. Is that in here? Oh yes, the scale. This is when Jen had me take my shoesies off.
Yep.
And my stockies. So you stand on this, and this connects to a computer, and then
and to our electronic medical record. So really, what you're doing in this room as a new patient, we're going to stop in after you leave your urine sample.
Yeah.
We're going to come into this room.
We're going to come here.
And what we're going to do in this room is we're going to check your vitals. We're going to do your blood pressure, blood oxygen.
Okay.
We're going to weigh you in. We're also going to measure your height to get an accurate height on you, just to make sure that that's in our chart as well.
Okay.
And then we bring you into the exam room.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So basically, that's kind of it in a nutshell right now. And I'm really looking forward to coming back here on the 4th. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. I do feel like I'm in the countdown phase of my life right now, because we're in December. And I am not feeling bad about anything I'm eating right now. But I did modify my coffee. I was saying earlier, coffee's a big one for me. And I like cream and sugar in my coffee. But I'm using monk fruit sugar in the raw. Yeah, it's not the best. I like regular sugar, but it definitely works. It definitely works, and it does take the edge off. And I'm really, really looking forward to how this process is going to turn out. And I'm going to head back out to the reception area, and we're going to look at the little food area. There's like foods and snacks and things like that. So if you come on this way, there's a beautiful section here where you can have recipes. And we have different types of snacks and shakes. And they have oatmeals and some your actual food. Things like that. And I think it's going to be really amazing to try some of these, because I am going to probably explore some of them just to try some new things. But being a cook, I'm also going to get really creative with food. So that being said, Jen, thank you for letting me come in here today. And Sarah, thank you for being on the camera. Thumbs up, thumbs up. And this is MEDI-Weightloss, and let's keep this journey going. And the next video will probably be on the 4th of January. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll be seeing you in January. Bye.